bro. I want to ask you something now.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
look, we on tape now. Look. How you doing, man?
I'm
now,
fine, man.
This guy right
I'm
here is
toasty.
the one. You sure
I'm
are.
toasty.
You very toasty, bro. This the guy right here started off, man. And I want to. It's a great show, man. A great thing. I mean,
Yeah, it
how
was.
did you think it went?
It was phenomenal. Yeah, we had a great event tonight. We have Malatini, who just brought the crowd to its feet, and we have T.S. Monk, and Ronnie Matthews, and Duke Robillard. And I'll tell you something, it couldn't have been any better. And the weather was perfect.
And then, now what about the crowd? What about it? Was a lot of people there you think was there?
Yeah, I think there were a lot of people there. I mean, you saw the people there.
I know,
man.
I know. I'm thinking about the thousands, bro. You know, hey.
I don't know how many people. 5,000, 7,000, 8,000, 10,000, 100?
100,000, man.
100,000.
Let's say 100,000 folks.
Yeah, that's it.
But
100,000.
Now how can you top this show right here next year? Think you can do it?
I don't know how we can beat this, but you know, we keep on pushing forward and try to bring something into this community that hasn't been here before. And just like we did this year. So if we bring this year something different and something new and exciting, next year we'll bring something new and exciting again. And I'm looking forward to that. We don't know what it's going to be. It's unpredictable.
Yeah.
Life is ambiguous. Life is full of fortuitous events.
Okay.
You know? You know, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Never complain, never explain is my motto.
Oh, never complain, never explain. Oh, that's a good
man.
motto, man.
That's it.
Okay.
Because we want magic. We want something to happen that's not here before. We want something that's unpredictable, completely unpredictable.
And this was definitely unpredictable right here. I mean,
I think
everybody.
so. Oh, don't you?
I do. I gotta say, I believe it. You did a great job, man, and keep on doing what you're doing, Mark. Seriously. I'm serious, bro. You're doing a great job with this, man. Yeah. You know, I love you, man, and keep, that's right, man. It is Mark
did a good
Griswold.
job.
That's right, the man that started all right here.
It's Ginsburg.
I always do this to mess him up, man, to get him on my okay.
It's Grisberg or Ginsmore.
Mark. Mark, this guy that
Ginsburg.
Ginsburg. Hey, man, thanks, man.
Yeah, Grismore's playing.
He's playing? Well, we're going to talk to him, man.
I love you.
Hey, thanks, bro. Get a handshake, brother. Handshake now. Okay, you cool.
Okay.
Thanks,
Am I
man.
cool?
Yes, you are. Very cool. Welcome to the Lyle Style Show. I'm here doing on location scene at the Iowa City Jazz Fest, and it's a great thing. I'm here with a legend, great doing a very personal interview with Ronnie Matthews, and I want to say welcome to the show, Mr. Matthews.
Thank you very much, Lyle.
Okay. Well, no, I mean, I follow jazz. You know, I grew up on jazz with my dad. You know, was playing jazz all his life, and so I had to listen to it. I grew up and I got a liking to it. You know, and I've heard that you've been doing jazz for a long time now. How did you start off doing jazz and modern jazz?
Well, it's something I always wanted to do, and actually I'm very much of a late bloomer. I didn't really start playing until I was 17 years old. I was a sophomore in college, headed in a whole other direction, and someone turned me on to a really marvelous musician and teacher by the name of Hall Overton, and he was very closely involved with Felonious Monk. Writing things for him, big band things for Felonious, and he gave me that little knowledge that's a dangerous thing and started me on this slide, you know, away from being a doctor, because I was a pre-med student when I first entered college, into music, and after a couple of years of studying with him, I was hooked, as we say, and so I wound up going to Manhattan School of Music and getting a degree and coming out here and playing music, which I've been doing now for 30 years about. Oh. Like that.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, well, that's, I mean, 17 is not bad, so you've been playing piano since you were 17 now.
Yes. You know, most people start when they're very young, but I was doing other things, playing basketball and, you know, doing the things that kids do, you know. But I always wanted to play, and once I found a good teacher that could give me the information that I wanted, I was gone, you know.
Great. You know, man, I mean, and then now you get albums out and everything like that, and I've heard that you play with Max Roach. Now, how'd you get started doing that?
Well, you know, the musical community, I grew up at a time when the musical community was very close, and, you know, you kind of had to go through your peers, you know, through playing and studying and practicing together during the day, playing a lot of jam sessions at night. And I got to, someone told him, I believe it was Clifford Jordan, a great a saxophonist recently deceased, who told, he was working with Max Roach at the time, and Max needed a piano player, and he told him about me and said that I was the guy who could do it. So that's how I got the job. And that's how most people, you know, word of mouth spreads, you know, as to someone's abilities, and then the other musicians pick up on it, and eventually somebody will call you.
Oh, wow. Now, I mean, if it takes a lot of perseverance and just being there and practicing, you know, to get that call, I guess.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You spend a lot of hours practicing, but I think the most important thing is the sessions that you have, excuse me, where you get a chance to communicate with the other musicians, and they get a chance firsthand to see how you can play and what you're capable of, and then the word slowly but surely circulates and gets around, and people in the musical community will recommend you to other people. I mean, that's basically how it goes. It's not it's not really a PR campaign. You know, it's about, as your abilities develop and word gets around, then people will call you, you'll get work. Yeah.
Now, I mean, so is it really important to get recognition by your peers, or get that by your peers that they recommend you? That's very important to do, or is it more important to get involved with the people in the industry, so like the producers and people like that, you know?
Well, in my generation, it was really most important to gain the recognition from your peers. That was really the only way to get in, except in very rare instances. But now there is a lot of there's a big move to get a lot of young people, people who are fresh out of school, some of them who don't even finish school. And, you know, there's a big involvement in selling this young instrument, it's an instrument, excuse me, young image.
Yeah.
And there are some very, very talented young people, and they're grabbing hold of these people, and then, you know, the record companies and the big PR campaign, and many of them don't become really known to the musical community until after they're already out there. In other words, the musical community and the world learns about them at the same time. You know, some of these young people, you know, I really never heard of until all of a sudden their records are out. You know, they've got a group and they're working and they're touring and they're going here and there, you know. So things have changed quite a bit in that respect. In my day, you had to have the recognition of your peers, otherwise the telephone did not ring.
Well, I understand that, but now, I'm going to get into this type of aspect of music, as in jazz, particularly. Is, you know, as being an African American, is breaking ground with even other people, other like whites are getting involved in jazz. I mean, what do you think about the whole thing? Is jazz like a universal type of music? You know, I mean, back when you was growing up, was it different? Is it growing with other people than it is, you know, back then? Or?
Well, it's a universal music in its recognition by the world as being a great art form that comes from Black America. In terms of the musicians, there were always you know, some, you know, white musicians who were involved even when everything was totally segregated. And now, you know, even more so, you know, there's much more integration with the musicians, but it, you know, it's still basically a black art form, but you know, it crosses all boundaries.
Yeah,
it really is. It's an international language for the audience as well as for the musicians themselves.
Yeah, because I mean, because me myself, you like a role model to me. I look at you and I see you made it, and you've been through to get this far. Well, that encouraged me that I know I can maybe have my dream, you know, come true one day. You know, to see person like a legend like you, you know, doing this, sitting right here next to me. I just feel privileged, boy. Really, I really do. You know, so it's great. I mean, what do you tell young people that out there that may be watching the show that maybe, you know, whether it be African American, whether it be white, whether it be blue, green, blue, whatever, if they want to get into the music business, what would you tell them how this started?
Well, I think the first thing is that you have to practice. You have to want to do it. I mean, I look at myself, and as I said, when I entered college, I was headed in a whole other direction. I was going to be a doctor, and the music grabbed hold of me and led me down this path. I think you have to have, because it's not easy. It's not easy. Any aspect of show business, whether you're being a jazz musician or a classical musician or an actor or an actress or a poet or a painter or a writer or whatever, it's not easy. And so I think the first requirement would be that you have that little voice inside that just will not shut up and just keeps pushing you in that direction. And then, of course, you have to develop the skills of your craft. You know, you have to learn how to do what it is you want to do. In this particular instance, you have to, you know, study the history, just as in any art form. You know, you have to go back and study the greats, you know, the James P. Johnsons, the Louis Armstrongs, you know, through the Charlie Parkers, through the Miles Davis, the John Coltrane's. You know, you have to go through and see what has gone before. And, of course, you got to spend a lot of hours practicing and learning how to play your chosen instrument. And then you have to get together with other musicians, the communication with other musicians, exchanging information, playing with other people. It's really a trial by fire. You can practice as much as you want at home, but until you get on the bandstand with other musicians, even if it's just in a jam session situation where you know, you're not getting paid, but you're just doing it because you want to play with other musicians, that is the invaluable experience that you need, you know, because it is a team effort, you know, and you have to learn how to be part of a team. So you got to take your instrument and get together with other musicians and play as much as possible. And hopefully you will develop, you will evolve, and like I said, one day the phone will ring.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, because that's great, because, you know, now, you know, because I've been wondering, you know, starting in any type of profession, you have to pay your dues to do certain things. And some people go through trial and error, or then some people just, boom, you know, automatically happens for them, you know. But then there's people, you know, that you have to just go through life, you know, doing things just to get recognition and promoting your own self, which is good. I feel like when you do it that way, you never forget where you came from, you know.
Oh, that's, yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's a certain amount of dues that has to be paid, and you know, there's a discipline practicing. You know, putting in the hours practicing every day is a discipline that must be developed, and you got to stick with it. I mean, you know, you always have to be with your instrument. You know, you got to be with it all the time.
Definitely. Well, I want to talk to you about your albums too. Now, I know you have some albums out, and I want to talk a little bit about your music. Now, you got the albums out and everything. Now, how many do you have out now?
Well, there's, I don't know how many I've done all told, but in the past, I would say 3 to 4 years. I have 2 CDs that I did for a Japanese label, DIW, or Disc Union. I don't know how, you know, it gets lost in the translation. I don't know how DIW turns out to be Disc Union, but that's the name of the company. Okay. And they are distributed now by Sony Columbia. Okay. And I did 2 CDs for them, trio albums. The first one had Ray Drummond and Billy Higgins, 2 of the greats in this business, and the second one had David Williams on bass and Frank Gant on drums. The first one was called Dark Before the Dawn. The second one was Lament for Love. And most recently, for a different Japanese label again, I did an album about a month ago, and when I go back to New York after we do this festival here in Iowa, I will be editing. I don't know when it's going to be released or what it's going to be called, but it will be out there. So just look for Ronnie Matthews in your local record store.
That's right.
You know, and give up the money.
Hey, that's what it's all about, man. You know, just getting to selling and getting out there and whatnot. Now you don't know when it's going to be out. Is this year sometime or?
I would assume that you know it's July now. I would assume that it'll be out before the end of the year. That is generally, you know, it takes 3-4 months. So I'm sure, you know, we're looking October, November, certainly before the holidays. You know, it will be out. Yeah. And
hopefully be out. Some of these record stores out here in Iowa City. We can get a copy of it. You know, so we definitely got to plug that. You know, plug what you're doing because you are the best in what you're doing and stuff. So. And one more question we want to ask you before we close the interview. We want to, because we was telling you about now you play with let's see, Ron Sugar or Ron Six right here. Your manager was telling me about Ron. Oh, not or.
No, I don't know what that.
Okay, well, he wrote something down here, and I was trying to. He was telling me about something you did something with somebody with Fast Max Roach.
Oh, well, I've worked with many of the greats. I worked with Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers.
Yeah, he mentioned that.
You know, I've worked with Roy Haynes. I've worked with the great Elvin Jones. So I've had the opportunity to play with many of the giants in this music, and they helped bring me along, and you know, they gave me a thorough thrashing when I was a bad boy and didn't do things right. You know, it was a lot of hard knocks in there, but it really paid off. You know, the guys were very open to you, and they would, if they saw that you had talent and you had the drive, you know, that you really wanted to do it. You know, they would always take time to sit you down and try and guide you in the right direction. And drummers like the ones that I mentioned, I don't know how that happened, but I managed to work with a lot of drummer band leaders, and I'm with one again.
I know. Yeah. You were with T.S. Monk, and he's the best. He was a great drummer. Yeah.
So I guess that's my karma or something. Drummers must like me or something. I always wind up in these bands with these drummers, you know.
You gotta have drummers.
It's been it's really been great and important for me, you know, in learning how to play in the group setting, you know, because my instrument is very essential to laying the foundation for what the horns are doing and the whole thing. So. So my background with all of the great drummers of jazz has taken me a long way and given me a lot of knowledge in this music, and I'm very grateful for it.
And we're grateful to have you playing and being, and I'm definitely grateful to you being here in this interview and talking with you. And I just want to thank you for coming on the show. You know, the interview and whatnot.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, man, and you keep on doing what you're doing, and we're gonna see your CD sometime maybe in November. Yeah. So all the people out there and the viewers can know that your CD be out sometime, maybe, you know, before next year. We can listen to your music and come back to Iowa City again.
I would love to. I mean, I love to play, and it's important for my sanity. To tell you the truth. I mean, it's how I make my living. And that's also, obviously, that's very important. That's, you know, gotta keep the roof over the head and all the rest of that. But music is therapy for me. It's something that I need. So I'm glad to go anywhere and play for people.
Oh, definitely. You know, and when you come back, you stop on to the show. I want you back on the show again.
Okay.
And thanks a lot. Okay.
Thanks a lot for having me.
Oh, definitely. And you know, well, we're gonna be back with more interviews with more jazz greats right after this. So don't turn that channel. Bye. Okay, how you doing there? Tom,
Alexis.
and Alexis. Man, it's a pleasure. You're the one that got started and got us to the interview. Now tell me, hey, how did you get hooked up with Monk and everybody?
Well, Felonious has been in the jazz industry for numerous years. I've been around it for over 20 years, and we both have a vision of education with jazz, and we figured we'd make a better team than trying to be out there fragmented. more organizations, more people start getting together, we can get a hell of a lot more accomplished, and that's exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to be more than just something that's out there for entertainment. We're trying to give some education, and that's real important, is doing these clinics.
Oh, you're doing a great job now. You're managing them and stuff like that. Now, it's a good responsibility to be doing it and everything. Now, is there any other thing that's happening with them that you can maybe let us know, or the future?
Well, he's got a new record coming out, which he talked to you about, which will be out either later December, beginning of January. We've got the competition, which is in November. We're doing some negotiating with BET on the creation of a potential talk show, some other themes. There's a lot of interesting, exciting things that are on the horizon. We'll be more than glad to keep you up to date with news releases that you can let your audience know about. This way here, they'll be factual, they'll have dates tied to them instead of us speculating.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. Oh, man, thank you. I mean, you're a nice guy. Nice guy.
It's a pleasure. It'll be a pleasure.
I appreciate this. We'll be back with more interviews. Welcome back to more of the Lyle Style Show. We're here at the Iowa City Jazz Fest doing an inside look at the Iowa City Jazz Fest, and we're here with another legend, Willie Williams. He plays the tenor saxophone for T.S. Monk, and he does things on his own. And I want to welcome you to the show, sir.
Thank you. It's nice to be here. I'd just like to say hello to all the viewers out there, especially the young saxophones aspiring students we had opportunity to work with this weekend.
Oh, great. Yeah, because y'all did 2 clinics out there, boy. Now, man, I would talk to you earlier, and we've talked for a while a little bit, and I'm amazed now. You started playing when you were 12 years old.
Well, actually, I started playing when I was 6 years old, but I started working professionally when I was 12 years old. I mean, you know, kind of playing around the house. You know, there was my father was a sax player, so we had a saxophone lying around, and as far as I can remember, that's sort of what I wanted to do. So
it just kind of it was always just kind of fitted with you playing sax and whatnot.
It's weird. I just knew that this is what I wanted to do, and I just did it. It wasn't really a question about doing anything else. So.
Oh man, I mean, that's all I know, because I mean, me being I'm a cartoonist, and I've always wanted to draw. I wanted to draw cartoons, and now I'm doing it. So I can definitely understand where you're coming from. Right. But I mean, you are a legend. I mean, you play sax, tenor sax, and we was talking about earlier about you playing with attending pentographs. Now, how did you tell us a little bit about yourself first of all? How you know, a little bit about your background, really.
Well, you know, I came up in Philadelphia, so during the time that I came up, we had those Philadelphia International recordings, you know, and artists that we used to always record for. I was just fortunate. I played with a band around town at a very young age called Crosstown Traffic, and I was 12 years old at the time. And we made some records together as a band, and we were doing cabarets and discos and things of that nature around the city. So by us doing that, you know, and this was kind of a unique band. I was the youngest member. I was 12 years old, and the oldest member was 35 years old. And we had people and the drummer was 13, and the guitar player was 20, and the bass player was 24, and the other guitar player was 26. So we had a lot of different age ranges in that particular group. So we got a lot of fame. So, you know, one thing led to another, and people started hearing about me, particularly from doing stuff with that group. And I got a chance to play with Dexter Wanzel, who was producing a lot of those records at the time. Teddy Pendergrass, Patti LaBelle, Gene Carn, Lou Rawls, a lot of people on that Philly International label, MFSB, you know, so, and then I was a kid, you know, and, but one day my mother came home and she said, you know, this stuff that you're doing is great, but listen to this. And she gave me a Charlie Parker record.
Oh, okay.
And I put that record on, and it was like the Charlie Parker story, the old ones that are on Verve. I think they just came out as a reissue on CD, which, by the way, I want to go buy that one.
Okay.
And, but anyway, so I put that on, and it was, for the first time in my life, there was something that I really couldn't even begin to play. You know, so that was a challenge to me, and I've been leaning towards jazz ever since, you know, although I've done other things. You know, I always wanted to try to get to being able to only play jazz, which is what I'm doing now. Yeah,
yeah. So, I mean, so it's really just more like a dream for you. I mean, to only do this jazz, and you would other type of music, and now you're doing jazz and everything, and so like a dream come true, so to speak. Then.
Yeah, you know, I had a good education. You know, I went to study since the time I was a little kid, and so I was kind of able to do a lot of different things. But jazz, more importantly, is what I always heard in my mind that I always wanted to aspire to because, in my opinion, it's the most difficult form of music to play in the world. You know, it has elements of pretty much every other music, and it's very technical. It's very harmonic, you know, it's very melodic. It just has all the elements, and it's the most difficult to execute. So, quite naturally, it was a challenge. You know?
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, when I was a little kid, you know, I used to practice 12 hours a day, you know, and I did that for a long period of time. I was very fanatical about, you know, playing the saxophone. So I wanted to get to this other level, you know, and when I heard jazz, I knew this was the level, naturally, that I had to reach for. So I'm starting finally, you know, finally at 35 years old, and after being in New York for 11 years, straight from school, you know, and after doing 3 records on my own, this is my 3rd one so far. This new one that came out, which is called WW3.
Okay, WW3.
WW3, and that's on the Inja Records label. But it's a new thing, a trio, saxophone, drums, and bass. And it's really, really great, came out really great, and all the critics are talking about it and stuff. So everything seems to be, this seems to be a culmination of all those other things, you know, for me. So when I listen to that record, I'm really proud, you know, that after all this, you know, just come to this, and I'm just hoping to keep getting better in the future and doing better things, you know.
Oh, I know you will. Now, I mean, now how did you get started working with Monk then? How did you start that?
Well, I was playing with, we all live in New York, and we all kind of go and see each other play and stuff like that. But at the time, I was playing with Arthur Taylor and his Wailers. This is yeah, we did a couple of records for Inja also, you know, which is the way I got my Inja deal even, you know. So, but anyway, I was playing with AT, and we were doing gigs around town, and Chu came to the gig, and he said, look, you know, I got some things that I want you to do, you know, I'm possibly, you know, just putting together a rehearsal band, which is what I thought it was going to be. And, you know, so I was also playing with him a couple of times, the Clifford Jordan's big band. We had some things. We did a record on Fantasy that was out before he died. You know, he died recently, that's 2 years ago now. But anyway, so we did a record with him, and we were playing every Monday night at a club. So those two things, you know, him seeing me with AT and us working together with Clifford Jordan's big band, he said, let's get together and play. So we formed this group, you know, Don Stickler actually formed the group, and got some different people together, and they had different combinations of people, and then he settled on the combination that he liked, and we just started rehearsing. And after, you know, it sounded good after a while, so then we decided to make it a real group. And that's kind of the beginnings of this.
And y'all been playing for what, how long?
It's about 2.5 years. I mean, we've done 2 records, and we're going to record another record, I guess late August or early September, for Blue Note Records. He records all our records are on Blue Note, this band. And it's really good, you know, we get a chance to do a lot of different things, travel around. We were in Paris a couple of weeks before we were here. And this is a great band, but the most important thing about it is that this is some of the greatest music in history, you know, and I feel very excited to even have an opportunity to play this music, you know, with so many people would love to play and don't have an opportunity to play, you know. And, you know, Don Stickler's an excellent arranger, and we're able to really get some stuff going with him writing these great arrangements that feature us, you know. So it's just an opportunity to play, and kind of a fun situation to be in, to be able to do it.
And getting paid, too.
Well, yeah, we make a little bit of money.
Shoot,
that's the best. I mean, jazz doesn't make the best money in the world. I mean, you know, I used to do projects, you know, like those, like I said, those things for Sound of Philadelphia, and they paid well, you know. So coming into jazz, I took a pay cut, but the frequency of work is a little more, so it sort of balances out, you know.
You get more gigs and stuff like that.
Yeah, you know, and you're able to travel around a little more. There's other things too that are important, and the historical value, you know. I can say that I'm going to be in history. You know, these records are already in history. I've already been sort of put into the Encyclopedia of Jazz, the revised edition. So, I mean, even if nothing else, I have sort of a place in history in terms of the continuum of jazz music. And that's really exciting for me. I mean, it really is exciting, you know. And to me, you know, people have different ideas of what success is, but to me, this is really being successful, doing what you like to do, and surviving at it, you know, and getting paid for it.
Yeah. Oh, that's a thrill. Just doing something.
Real blessing, you know.
Yeah, it is. And you being a Christian too, which is great.
Yeah.
That you know, doing that and able to.
Well, I came up in, you know, basically most jazz musicians, I think, came up in kind of upper middle class families, and I came up in a sort of a poor family, so we had to pray a lot.
Okay.
So, you know, just to survive and to get food on the table, you know. And I was very fortunate, you know, in that, you know, at a very young age, I was able to have free lessons at school. I mean, this is what, you know, the power of prayer really does for people.
Tell me about it.
You know, I don't want to sound corny or anything, but, you know, so I use this in my daily existence, you know, and it makes things a lot easier. And also, you know, you seem to be sort of in the right place at the right time, you know. When you're praying and you're taking care of, you know, and you know you're gonna make mistakes in your life, but just ask for forgiveness and keep on going.
Yeah,
you know?
keep on. That's right. That's definitely right. I definitely agree with that. You know, but and I want to ask you quickly a little bit about now you got album now your new CD is it out now? What's the name of it? Where can we get it out? Is it out?
Well, yeah, I don't know about in this part of the country, but I know usually if you have Tower Records, they usually sell my records in Tower Records, like in New York and Philadelphia, Chicago, places like that.
Okay, L.A.
And yeah, L.A. So I mean, it follows that if you have them here, they should have them here.
Okay.
But the new record is called WW3.
WW3.
And that's for Willie Williams 3.
Okay, Willie Williams. Okay.
And but it is sort of a musical prophecy, you know. The WW3 is a suite, and the first movement is called Armageddon, and the second movement is called The Choice Is Yours, and the third movement is called Babylon Falls.
Oh,
so,
man. And
then after that, I closed the CD with a tune called 1,000 Years of Peace. So it's basically on spiritual prophecy, but you know, it's not a gloomy thing. It's a happy thing because every time, because after all this stuff is done, then we're going to have that 1,000 years of peace.
Yeah.
So that's important.
It's definitely important.
Me. So anyway, so it's on Inja Records, and it's a trio, myself, and I play tenor and soprano on it, and Scott Colley plays bass, and he also works with us with the T.S. Monk band, and Harold Summey, who is the winner of the Felonious Monk Institute drum competition.
Okay, yeah.
Which so we all have a connection with the monks, with monkdom, you know.
Yeah,
so, and so it's very as I said, it's a pleasure for me to be here with these people. So, and this record is very great, you know. So I really would recommend it. You know, I have 3 CDs out, and I think this is the best one so far.
Oh, I'm gonna try to get that. I'm gonna try to see if we have it out here too, you know. And I mean, when you, as a pleasure, coming here, I'm really honored that you coming on the show and talking to us, talking to the people out here and stuff. And when y'all come back to Iowa City, please come back on the show.
I will. I'd love to come back, and I look forward. I hope they invite us back next year, or you know, in the near future. And you know, I'm hoping to bring my trio out here sometime also, or my quartet. You know, because I do a lot of things on my own. Okay. And for anybody who's going to be in New York, I'm working. I don't know when this is going to be aired, but the 5th and 6th. 5th and 6th of August. Okay. At Visiones, you know, with my quartet. So come on down and check the music out for yourself if you're in town.
Oh, great. And they see you have the sax here. I don't know if you got something quickly you can maybe leave us with some hint of how your music is right fast.
Well, I can leave you with a little rendition of a beautiful tune called I Love You. Okay. Because, you know, since I've been here in Iowa City, I found there's a lot of love here, so I want to give a little love back.
Okay.
First of the day, so we'll see. I don't think you need that news.
Okay. Well, hey, that's Man, it was great. Hey, we looking forward to a great show with y'all, boy. Hey, you know, just been excited. Thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate it, man.
I'm glad to be here. You know, so everybody come down tonight and check out the show.
Oh.
Actually, it's in about what, an hour?
About an hour, yeah, about an hour. So we'll be right back with more of our interviews with T.S. Monk and another of his jazz legends here. Okay, hey, excuse me. How you doing? I'm sorry to bother y'all. Now, I guess y'all was down to Iowa City Jazz Fest, wasn't y'all? We weren't kind of answer.
Actually, we weren't.
You're here jamming with everybody. What do y'all think about this thing? Here's one that can get y'all opinion about stuff.
I like it.
How you doing?
Good.
Okay, you like it? Is jazz one of your favorites or what?
No, not one of my favorites, but well, you tell them what you think.
Oh, let me talk to my man over here. Come here.
Actually, they're getting much more into it. Earlier, they're kind of this elevator music stuff, and it wasn't going for me. But now it's starting to pick it up, and it's much more of an entertainment now.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
So you're starting to enjoy a little bit of these. Hey, what about these people?
The groove, yeah.
I'm dropping something on your thing, and it's terrible of me doing that. But I want to get y'all opinion about having the Jazz Fest and everybody being here. But so y'all enjoying yourselves?
Oh yeah. Went to the fireworks and then we came here.
You came right here to the Jam Festival.
Yep.
Oh great. Hey, well we got some people involved in everything. Jazz is growing. Everybody likes it. Hey, we're doing a great job here. It was nice talking to y'all.
You bet. See you later, Lyle.
Thank you, sir. And it was, oh God. Thank you, man. And good luck in your acting career. Welcome back to the Lyle Style Show. We're here again at the Iowa City Jazz Fest talking to the jazz greats here. And today on our show we have a legendary jazz arranger, Don Ziegler, on the show. I want to thank you for coming on the show.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
Now, we was talking a little bit before we start airing about, now you do a lot of the arranging for the show, and how do you get started arranging and producing?
Well, it's something that I have been involved with for a long time, that I learned when I still lived in Spokane, Washington, to try to arrange for my friends, because you couldn't buy any arrangements out there. But once I got to New York, I got lucky and started arranging for a lot of my jazz heroes, and it's kind of culminated with this band with Monk, with T.S. Monk, that I really enjoy writing for, because I have real committed musicians that are willing to spend the rehearsal time to play some very difficult music. Not difficult meaning frantic or anything else, just complicated, beautiful music that we really enjoy playing. So.
I mean, now doing that type of work, now you also play instruments, you also play the flugelhorn, and okay, so how long you been playing? You know, been involved in playing jazz?
Well, I just turned 50. I started when I was 10, so I guess I've been playing for 40 years. But professionally, I came back from Spokane, Washington to New York when I was 23 years old to do my master's degree on trumpet at Manhattan School of Music. And that's when I really started to take the trumpet seriously, and really when I got involved studying arranging, and took that very seriously too. You know, a lot of times when you're young, you don't really know. I mean, I was a math major in college and a philosophy major and whatever, and then gradually I got into music, and then kind of matured it in my mid-20s to realize that what I wanted to do was devote myself to music.
Okay, I mean, now this, you know, since I grew up on jazz, grew up on hearing the music now, but people don't realize arranging and producing, that takes a lot of work too. Now, I mean, you know, they don't realize going back behind the scenes and getting things together. People hear the music, but they don't know what it takes to do it. And how do you go about coming up with these lyrics, come up with everything for it to be right?
Well, basically, it's knowing the musicians that you're involved with. I mean, I learned a lot about writing for musicians from my collaborations with musicians, legendary musicians like Hank Mobley and like Philly Joe Jones, where they were used to music being written directly for them, or Hank Mobley wrote differently for Philly Joe Jones than he wrote for, when he had a date with Philly Joe, than if he wrote for Art Blakey or if he wrote for Max Roach. So it's really knowing the musicians you're involved with, and that's the real fun for me, is writing for specific musicians so that they realize that you know, what I'm writing has their name on it. And Monk is, you know, a very energetic drummer with a lot of talent and a lot of energy, and I try to bring music to him that shows off him to his best, you know. And some of it is music that was originally written for Philly Joe and originally written for Art Blakey, and it hasn't been played for years and never been played in the context of 3 horns. Most of the time it was with 2 horns or 1 horn. So it's a lot of fun arranging it for this band because they're very seriously committed to playing the kind of music, drummer's music, which has lots of rhythmical figures and a lot of complex idiomatic things that are fun to play but require rehearsals. Other times in arranging for Joe Henderson or in arranging for the various people I have, it depends on, you know, how much, obviously the complexity of the arrangement depends on how much rehearsal time you have. If I'm writing for a record date and I know I only have 2 rehearsals, I have to think a little differently than if I knew I could be with the artist over a month, say, and try to really work out some more intricate material. But it's trying to come up with the, you know, the best possible scenario for the artist due to the circumstances of recording or performance.
Well, I mean, now, I'm going to ask you quick now, in music, now like jazz is like a really universal type of music. I was talking to the other guy about it too, and it's very, you know, universal. Do you think, what would you kind of tell like other young people out there that, like I asked the other guy, that may be aspiring to become maybe in the music business or, you know, in jazz or whatever? Do you have like any things to kind of pass on to them to try to keep them in line with it?
Well, there's many things. Number one, if you're going to be an instrumentalist, you've got to learn to have a good sound. I mean, you have to develop your sound and you have to develop your intonation. Because, you know, without a good sound, and if you can't play in tune, it's hard to get a gig playing, especially with your heroes, you know. It's a lot of hard work. The ones that I know are successful work very hard at trying to be successful, you know. And it's a lot of it's luck too, you know. You have to be at the right place at the right time a lot of times. Of course, we've all seen musicians that it's taken a long time for them to get the credit that they widely deserve. That's what I feel about the alto saxophonist that plays in this band. I'm 50, Bobby is in his mid-50s, and I first heard him play when I came to New York. Well, I must have been about 25. I guess it was probably 1969, and it really wasn't until this band that he actually really got exposure as a straight-ahead jazz player. He'd been swallowed up in the Latin jazz field with Mongo Santa Maria and Tito Puente. You know, in other words, a lot of times, and Bobby's not a very aggressive person. He doesn't go out and say, hey, I'm a monster, you should hire me, you know, and so a lot of times that's one thing that makes me feel very good to have brought him to Monk and have Monk realize that this is somebody he really wants in his band. And you know, so it's taken Bobby all these years to really get exposure as a jazz artist. Now everyone in the industry knows who he is. You know, for years I was talking his name and nobody knew who he was. You know? So it's difficult. You just have to, if you can be aggressive, and if you can, you know, the other thing is show up on time for rehearsals. And it's not the time of being hip to be an hour late is passé, you know, especially to really, you know, move ahead in a hurry if you have a lot of talent, you know.
Now, and I know there's a lot of talented young people out there that's playing jazz. Now, tell me, now, what type of music do you like? Is it, you know, is it jazz or is there anything else type of music?
Well, I mean, I like all kinds of music, but I've been, I'm really not an expert in anything except in the jazz world, because that's what I've been immersed in, and it really takes up all my waking hours just working in the jazz world, which I love, you know. But and I'm involved with a lot of the younger artists. I just produced a Mark Whitfield date for Verve. He's just signed with Verve Records. A young, very talented guitarist in his late 20s, and you know, I get to work with a lot of the younger players, which is always an enjoyment. And bringing, like on the Lush Life album that I produced of Joe Henderson's, bringing Joe Henderson together with 3 very young artists was, you know, was very interesting and very gratifying for everyone concerned. You know, playing difficult music like Billy Strayhorn's music. It was a lot of fun, and writing for those combinations is, you know, I'm having a ball. I really enjoy it.
Oh, great. I mean, I want to kind of finish up a little bit, ask you a little bit about, now you said something like now you have put out you have any CDs or any albums out of your own?
Yeah, I have one album out as a leader solely by myself, which is on the Reservoir label, which is called The Music of Kenny Durham.
Okay.
It's with Cedar Walton, Ron Carter, Billy Higgins, and Jimmy Heath. And I've had, I was the leader of a group called Super Blue, which recorded 2 albums for Blue Note. I haven't aggressively worked as, I have a new album coming out on the Uptown label, which will be out later this summer. And I'm excited about that. I don't actively pursue that career on my own. I'd much rather work with Monk and see how far he can take it. You know, he's really a great mouthpiece for the band and for the music, as well as a great human being. And again, you know, in this business, when you have a name like Felonious Monk, it certainly helps to open the door. But then, you have to have the ability to follow through and take care of business, and he really can. And he's been a great friend for a long time prior to forming this band, and I'm just tickled to death to get the opportunity to work with him.
Oh, great. I mean, yeah, he's an excellent drummer. Everybody knows him. He's worldwide. His dad is a legendary, you know, pianist, and so is a great jazz person. And but you know, I mean, I appreciate you even coming by here and talk with us a little bit about your arrangement, because I know arranging and producing is a hard job. It's just not, you know, people don't realize how much you have to go through to do that, you know, and you're talking about it. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
And I want y'all to, you know, when y'all come back to Iowa City, which I know y'all will, next year, would you come back to the show? Y'all come back?
My pleasure.
Okay. Great. And thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Now, this is, well, we're going to have another great jazz legend coming on in just a few minutes. I want y'all to stay tuned. We're taking a short break right fast. We'll be right back with more of the Lyle Style Show and Iowa City Jazz Fest right after this. Okay, what's your name, sir? Darren Melvin. Oh, Darren. I call you Darren. The last, I'm good with last. But now, well, hey, you was down to Iowa City Jazz Fest. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I liked it a lot. It was really enjoyable. I thought it was really good.
Okay, now who was your favorite person down there?
Favorite person or group?
Group, whatever you like.
I like the African group that came probably the best.
Really?
Yeah, I can't pronounce their name real good, so I'm not going to try.
Okay, yeah, me either. So I'm definitely going to. I'm not going to try.
Yeah, I liked them a lot. They had a lot of high energy. And they were really intense. I liked it a lot.
Now, what about Monk?
Pardon me?
T.S. Monk, the group, the last group.
Oh yeah. I thought they were pretty good. I didn't think they had quite the intensity or the drive that the African group did, but I thought they were pretty good. They're a nice, fast jazz group. I liked it. I enjoyed it. So,
really?
Yeah.
So you think you'll come back to the Iowa City Jazz Fest next year?
It depends on if I'm in town, probably.
Okay,
so.
Where are you from?
I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Man, you long way from home, man.
Yeah. I just came up to visit my family. So.
And stop down 4th of July for the Jazz Fest. It was great.
It was really cool.
Did you eat a lot?
Not really.
Had a lot of food down here now.
Yeah, I didn't have enough money for the food. So.
Oh man, tell me, I know that feeling, boy. Yeah, I know that feeling too. Next time you know, we bring some little money then together. Huh?
Yeah, no doubt.
Definitely was nice talking to you, man.
You too.
Okay, and what now? I know y'all saw briefly. Did y'all see it?
Yeah, we did.
Y'all enjoy a little bit of it?
It was great.
It was great?
It was great, yep.
And maybe next year y'all come back?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great. It was definitely nice talking to y'all, okay? Now, see, these people like the Ivy Jazz Fest and they're coming back. This is a big success here. Lyle Style here signing off. We'll be right back. Thanks. Welcome back again to Lyle Style Show. We're here with another great jazz legend, Dave Jackson. He plays the bass, the vocal, what's called the acoustic bass with the T.S. Monk Group. And welcome to the show, man.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure having you down here. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about, how you got started with jazz and everything.
Okay, well, I started out on the violin when I was 5 years old. I took that up for about 6 years. I always stayed in the string family, and I took guitar for a couple of years. And you know, right in the middle of high school, I took up the electric bass guitar.
Okay.
And I really got into that by accident. A friend of mine, who I used to jam with, went to the Vietnam War, and he left his bass with me. And he said, "Listen, just hold it until I come back." You know, so.
Okay.
That's how I really got into it. So I started to take a liking to it, and then about 8 years later, I took up the acoustic bass. You know, so I've been a bass player. You know, I'm giving away my age, but a good 25 years now.
Okay, you're still young though. Still
young. Yeah.
Well, now it's a different playing the regular bass or bigger bass. It's a little bit different, or both the same.
Well, you know, first of all, the sound is a lot different, and well, I mean, say the acoustic bass is acoustic. You know, the other one is an electrified instrument. So, you know, they have very distinct sounds. And you know, for like the type of music that we were playing tonight, you know, I would prefer to play, you know, the acoustic bass, which is more traditional with the music that we're playing, you know, tonight.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because I mean, y'all play some bad. Y'all was jamming out there tonight, man. I mean, really.
Oh yeah, I really enjoyed it. I was having a good time out there, man. Really, you know.
Now, this your first time coming out here doing this type of gig, or?
Really, my first time in Iowa City. Now, I played in Iowa about 15 years ago with a saxophonist named Sonny Fortune.
Okay.
And we played in Grinnell.
Oh, good. Yeah, I heard of Grinnell.
Yeah, Grinnell College, and we did a little Midwest tour. You know, I mean, I don't get out too often, you know, but this has really been a nice time, man. Really nice.
Now I know, cause now you usually go like solo type thing, do you, or you know, because I know you tell me you have some like maybe a album with your brother. Now he's playing in.
That's right. Yeah. My younger brother is an alto player, and you know, he's made quite a few albums with different people. But this is his first album as a leader. His name is Ed Jackson.
Okay.
And I happen to be on it. So you know, it's called Wake Up Call, and it's on New World Records, and it was just released. Right now he's currently working with the Bobby Watson Big Band. You know?
Oh, right.
So he's an alto player. He's 7 years younger than me. You know.
Oh, okay.
So you know, when I had guys over the house jamming, and you know, he would come down the stairs and take a little peek, you know what I mean? And next thing you know, he snuck in there, and you know, we started you know, doing some things together, you know, the last couple of years. So you might be hearing about the Jackson brothers, you know.
Okay, hey, the Jackson.
Sometime soon, you know.
Cool. I mean, definitely back to Iowa City doing that because I mean, it's a great jazz. It's just a diverse type of music. It's for everybody, and it's culturally wise, you know. I mean, us the African Americans, we just grew up with jazz and stuff, you know. Now, I mean, what do you think about the great diverse jazz is doing, and the great diverse is doing out here? As far as the world concerned, you know, because it's basically been like a black music, but everybody else would be getting involved in jazz.
Sure. You know, like I played in Japan, you know, and they're very much into it over there. As a matter of fact, sometimes you know, in downtown, you know, New York, you know, you see a lot of Japanese people coming out. And I mean to say, and it's just spread all over the nation. I mean to say, I played in Europe.
Okay.
I played in Africa. I played in South America, and the music is appreciated all over the world.
Yeah. I know.
All over the world. It's really something.
Okay. All over. I mean.
Yeah, you know, and it really guesses me how knowledgeable people are, you know, about our music. You know, I might go overseas, and somebody might remind me of a record that I did 12 years ago that I completely forgot about. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you know, things like that really surprise me. You know, people are really up on it. And I'm always amazed at that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
I can imagine.
Yeah, you know, when you go to other cultures and
they tell you what you what you did 12 years ago.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's great. Now,
and it might have been something I would rather have forgotten about too.
But you were bringing it up. Oh well, that was a good thing. Yeah, you know, just smile and stuff. Yeah. But now, what's happening now? I mean, are you planning to do any more projects, or?
Well, right, you know, at the present time, my brother and I, we plan on, you know, hooking something up together because we pretty much have gone separate ways all the year. You know, he's been on the road gigging with other people, and I've been on the road, you know, gigging with other people, and you know, and it's just been talk.
Okay,
you know, last few years, but talk is cheap. But, But we did a gig together in Bermuda last year, and that's where my grandparents are from. You know what I mean?
Bermuda?
Wow. So we had a very nice engagement there, and you know, his album is out now, and we're trying to, you know, maybe do some things together. You know, after all these years. You know.
Okay, right. So it's been a while since y'all did something.
Yeah, sure.
Oh man, I mean, I just admire. I admire it because I always love to do traveling myself and whatnot and do other things, but you get a chance to go to different countries, different lands, and talk to different people, different cultures and whatnot.
That's right. Well, I'd say music has been very good to me, to the extent that I've gone to a lot of places that I never would have even imagined of even going to. You know what I mean? That I never would have had a chance to go to.
Yeah.
You know.
And been, from what I understand, been probably received pretty well, you know, because everybody, like I said, jazz is really diverse for everybody and stuff.
Yeah, sure is. Sure is. And we just finished doing a clinic at the university here. You know, we were here for a couple of days.
Okay.
And, you know, I had a lot of fun doing that because, you know, because I also teach, you know, back in New York, you know.
At the university or?
Well, there's a music school I teach at, and I also, you know, teach privately. And, you know, it was good to come out here and, you know, work with kids and, you know, and I think that they really enjoyed it. You know, it was good feedback from them. And from us as well, it really turned out good. You know?
And they probably learned, because I was there.
Yeah, you know, we gave some master classes, and then we played along with their ensembles and things like that. And
getting together and whatnot and doing something positive.
Right,
you know.
right.
Now,
so, you know, we have some friends for life now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Oh, definitely. You have friends out in Iowa City definitely for life, because everybody loves y'all out here. What would you tell, you know, young people today, you know, that maybe want to get into the music business, you know? Do you have any advice for them?
Well, I'd say, you know, first of all, starting out with an instrument, you know, you should get yourself a good teacher that you're comfortable with. Practice very hard, and have a knowledge of your history, you know, just like in any profession. You know, it's very important that you know the history of your profession. So, I mean, I'm still learning about the music of today. I go back to New Orleans and blues and kind of like work my way up and learn all the various styles of music that have taken place here, and you know, and most importantly for me, the bass players. You know what I mean? And the bass stylists. You know, from Jimmy Blanton, you know, up to the guys that are happening contemporary today. I mean, I listen to all bass players, electric bass players, and I listen to all instruments, you know what I mean? So I think a good idea for a musician today is to be as diverse as possible to all the styles. And I happen to live in New York, so I have a lot of, you know, I have a lot of experiences playing different styles of music, you know, because there's salsa, there's jazz, you know, there's reggae. Okay. You know what I mean? There's funk. There's real good funky players there too.
Yeah.
I mean to say there's a little bit, you know, there's a little bit of everything. So I try to stay pretty much abreast of everything. You know, keep an open mind. That's what I would say.
Oh, definitely have to.
And you have to put yourself out there. You know, you know, once you start getting the mechanics of your instrument together and you start studying the history and everything, you know, you have to. You know, it takes a little. You have to be a little daring, and it takes a lot of courage. You know what I mean? You just got to start sitting in. jam sessions and asking musicians questions.
Okay,
and,
okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and, you know,
yeah.
like there's a pool of information out there, but you have to go out there and get it.
Mm-hmm,
you know, if you're really hungry for it.
Yeah.
And you have to pay some dues.
You have to pay. Oh, don't say that. You got to pay your dues. That's what
right.
I heard. That's what I keep hearing. You got to pay your dues. You know, you got to be very kind of aggressive if you want to.
That's right.
Make some of yourself. You know.
Right.
So, I guess that's kind of true in anything that that you do in life, really. You know, to a certain extent.
That's right. You know, you have to be humble. You know, expect to you know, to fall on your face a couple of times. You know what I mean? But don't let that discourage you. Always, you know, always bounce back and you know, learn from your mistakes. And you know, it's an ongoing process. You know what I mean? And I mean, I by no means have it all together. I mean, I still practice.
Okay, really?
You know, every day, you know, or whenever I can. You know, and you know, I'm still learning. You know, I'm still growing.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Now that's very. I mean, since you're a professional now, and to hear that you're still doing that.
Oh, sure.
It's amazing. You know. I mean, you could just say, "Well, I made up to this level now, and I don't have to blah blah blah."
Oh, no. There's still a lot. You know, I still got my books, and I'm still listening to, you know, the various people, and you know, I practice my improvisation and everything else. You know, I'm still learning a lot of stuff, and you know, this particular band has been you know, quite an experience for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, the charts are, you know, very well written, and the music is good, and you know, it's not an easy book to play either. You know what I mean? You have to play it a few times to get kind of accustomed to it, and then when you feel like you basically got it, you know, there's all kinds of things you can do to improvise it and complement it as you play it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
I agree with that.
You know, so I'm still, you know, it's still new territory for me. You know? Because this is the third engagement I played with this group.
Really? It's the third?
Yes, the third engagement.
Y'all get it down so together that you just cannot tell that, you know, that y'all never really, you know, played together. You know, it's like y'all played together for a long time. But
well, I mean to say the rest of the guys have been playing together for a while. You know, I know. You know, TS has a couple of CDs out.
Yeah, that's what.
And I think the musicianship in the band has been pretty constant. You know. But you know, like I said, this was a nice opportunity for me to come in and you know, be a part of this. You know.
Yeah, definitely. And I know you're gonna hopefully come back next year. Hopefully you can play. You know, if it works out with everybody, you still come back.
Oh yeah. I mean, judging by the way things went, you know what I mean, and the reception we got today, and the, you know, and the interaction with the kids at the school. You know what I mean. I think they'll ask us back.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
I think so too, man. Because everybody was just, everybody waiting for this and whatnot. So it was a great thing, and I know are you gonna be involved in a jam session tonight, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna stop by there a little later. Sure. Yeah. Because when you saw me after the concert, I was really like catching my breath. You know, I had to go upstairs and have a couple of sodas and come down, and you know, now I feel a little bit more relaxed. You know.
Okay.
Because you know, your adrenaline gets pumped up out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh man.
So I usually have to like be still for a little while. You know, after I play. You know.
Because man, did you ever get nervous one time you're out there performing? You ever get nervous?
Well, I would say that the older I get, the longer I've been playing, you know, I have more confidence. Okay. You know, in myself, you know, with myself, you know, and that comes with experience. But it could get a little frightening, you know, when you see thousands of people out there. Man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But once the music starts, you know, I'm pretty relaxed.
Okay, you know, like just block everybody out your mind and just play.
Yeah, I'm just really concentrating on the music, you know, and I, I just keep my ears open and I try to listen to what's going on. And if I miss something, I catch it right away. You know what I mean? That happens, you know, that happens from time to time. But, you know, being around the business for a while, you know, you grow and you just make things happen while you're up there.
Oh, yeah. Y'all definitely made things happen. And God, it was exciting. And, you know, it was definitely a pleasure.
Hey, my pleasure.
Sir, pleasure you coming on the show, man.
Hey, thank you very much.
And next time y'all come out here, like I told Mark, next time y'all come out here, you got to come back on the show, talk with us again.
All right, it'd be my pleasure, man.
Okay.
And nice meeting you.
Definitely nice meeting you. And
cameraman.
So, hey, this is Lyle Style here saying that we're going to, you know, maybe get some more interviews a little bit later on in the show. I want y'all to not turn that channel. Stay tuned for more of Inside Look at the Iowa City Jazz Fest with great jazz legends here. We'll be right back after this. Okay, we're back with more reaction from the crowd that's been involved in Jazz Fest now. We're talking to two people that been in the Jazz Fest, that saw the Jazz Fest, and I want to get their names. What's your name?
Gustavo Ordaz.
And what?
Erasto.
Okay, now where y'all from originally?
I am from Mexico.
Oh, Mexico?
Me too.
Okay, now y'all was at Jazz Fest. Now, what do y'all think about the Jazz Fest out here? Did y'all like it? Did y'all find it? Y'all like it? Or?
I enjoy it
Enjoyed
very
it?
much.
Very much. What about you?
I think it's a very good event in the Iowa City area, and I would like to have more events like that.
Really?
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Okay.
You know?
So you're saying that now next year y'all gonna be back for the Jazz Fest next year, huh? You'll be back next year to watch it again for Jazz Fest next year, because it happens every year. You think you can come back next year to watch the Jazz Fest, or what?
¿Vas a venir otra vez?
Next year?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh,
I
really?
will.
Okay.
I will be here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. No, go ahead.
I enjoy it very much.
Okay, very much.
Because
good music.
This kind of shows don't
are not seen very often
now,
here.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, at least in my case, I don't know. Maybe I'm not very well aware of the events in Iowa City, but you know, like this kind of public events. Yeah, I know there is around here some other events, but well, like this one, the really good ones are, I guess. But as I told before, I would like there to be plays more often.
Okay, definitely. Yeah. So you come back next year then? Huh?
Yeah.
Oh.
If I am around here, I'll be listening at the event.
Great. Wait, see, some more people that saw it and loved it. I think it's a good event. People are gonna be back next year for it. That proves that this was very successful today. So hey, it was nice talking to y'all.
Nice talking to you too.
Yeah, nice talking, and definitely see you next year, huh? Next year?
Yeah, I will be here.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay, for sure. Okay.
Yeah, it's actually a very good thing to enjoy, and it's great.
Oh, thanks. Great. Thanks a lot, man. Okay, we'll be back with more reaction after this. Welcome back to the Lyle Style Show here. We're on location here. We're at the Iowa City Jazz Fest, and this is a great honor because we have a legendary drummer here. T.S. Monks is going to join us. I mean, he's wrapping up our interviews with the great legends of jazz. I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Pleasure to be here, Lyle.
Okay, I mean, now, it's so much that I just want to talk to you about what you've been doing. First of all, we want to kind of talk to you about how you got started, because I heard Max Roach had a part in getting you started playing.
Yeah, well, first of all, I'd like to say that you have to excuse my speech because actually I was very sick this winter, and I had a thing called Bell's palsy, which paralyzed my face, right? Okay. And I'm just recovering from it, so if my speech is a little bit garbled, your viewers have to bear with me.
That's all right.
But to get back to your question, actually, Max Roach gave me my first drum lessons, but Art Blakey gave me my first set of drums. Ooh. You know, and I didn't start until I was around 15 years old, so I started kind of late. I had no encouragement to get into music by my father. He wanted me to float in on my own. He wanted he wanted to be my idea, you know, and I really respect that because I'm in it because I love it. I'm not in it because Daddy was in it, you know. So my beginnings were very late, but very fortunate because I had those two guys, and I had been watching those guys ever since I was a little kid, you know. So it was kind of appropriate for me to hook up with those guys, but it was a lot of fun in the beginning for me. It was very easy, you know. It was an easy transition into music for me because I didn't have the shadow of my dad hanging over me. You know, he never put any pressure on me. He said, "Man, I love you. Okay. I don't care whether you're a doctor, a lawyer, I don't care. I love you. You're my son, and whatever you choose to do is great with me." Wow. You see,
So that released any shadow over me or any kind of pressure. And once there was no pressure from him, who was the source, then no one around him could put pressure on me. And a lot of people did put pressure on me to go into music.
Okay.
But it rolled off kind of like water off a duck's back, because I knew that I could do anything I wanted to. You know?
Oh man, I mean, yeah, and that is the best thing to have your dad being beside you by anything you do. That's better than anything.
That's the key. That's the key. See, Felonious was a real dad. He was not a absentee entertainment parent. Felonious managed to hang out in the clubs all night and come home every night.
Okay.
You dig? So he was on the scene. Myself and my sister and my mother, we traveled with him. I went all over the place with him. He was very proud to have a Felonious Monk Jr. You know, he dug the idea of having a son. He thought I was the greatest thing since roast beef, and he told everybody I was the greatest. He told Dizzy and Bird and Max and all those guys, say, yeah, hey, check out Toot. He's the hippest cat of all. You know. So I had a really, really good time because my father was there for me, and we were real tight until he left us in 1982.
Oh, wow. And that was sad for everybody, the whole jazz world, you know, because he was a great piano player.
Oh, well, Felonious was what I call a triple threat, you know. He's the only one I really know. Felonious pushed the envelope as a pioneer of the music in terms of the musical concepts that were on the table at the time that he came along. Then he was also a virtuoso player to the extent that there's no one that can copy Felonious Monk. You got guys that can copy anybody. You ain't got nobody that can copy Monk. And on top of that, he was perhaps one of the greatest composers of the 20th century. So he just hit the nail on the head in 3 of the primary areas of art. Any art form, if you do those 3 things, you have to attain grandmaster status, bordering on godlike, and that's what Felonious was able to do.
Oh wow! And you are a great drummer in your own right, you know, and you really are.
I have a lot of fun, you know. See, I got into music because music is fun. I didn't get into music because the music is serious. I didn't get into music because the music is heavy. I didn't get into music because it got me to girls. I didn't get into music because Daddy was a musician. I got into the music because it's fun, and it looked like fun to me when I was a tiny little kid, and I said, wow, I'd like to have fun like that. And then I said, I think perhaps I have the talent to get involved. And once I realized I did, I've been having a ball ever since. I mean, you'll see in the show later that I have a whole lot of fun playing, and it's not, you know, I'm not trying to save the world with my music. I'm not trying to lead anyone to the promised land with my music. All I'm trying to do is lay it down right, lay it down in a fashion that I'm giving 110% all the time, and hope people dig me. You know, now, sometimes they don't. You know, but if you give 110%, then at least you know that you're doing it the very best and trying to be the very best you can be. And that's what I try to do musically. I try to have a good time.
Oh, and you do, you know, and it shows in your playing, in your group and everything like that. But I want to get into another subject quickly because now you played with at the White House with President Clinton. Now, how was that? You got to tell us.
Well, I had the great fortune of not only playing with the president, but actually I hosted 4 major fundraisers on the campaign trail for then Governor Clinton.
Oh, man.
You know, and it has been a very important hookup for me, and I'll tell you why. Because in past years, I mean, you had great artists, jazz artists, have gone to the White House in the past. Under the Carter administration, jazz was there at the White House. Of course, everyone knows that Lionel Hampton has played for every president since Roosevelt. But I think that the difference now is this. We have a sitting president that understands the historical and cultural value of jazz in terms of the American tapestry. You dig? It's a very different thing. In other words, jazz is not brought to the White House now because it is a novelty, because it is a chic and sophisticated thing to do, but because it is an important piece of American culture. And right now, just recently celebrating our 200th anniversary as a nation, we're very, very young, and we have begun to realize that even in our 200-year history, there are things that are very, very important to what makes up America, what makes Americans. And jazz is one of those things. Jazz has been the artistic ambassador for this country all over the world for about
70 years since James Reese Europe took the 369th band to Europe during the First World War and turned the French out, and they've got statues and monuments and all those things over there for those guys. And jazz is, in fact, the music that represented freedom and the American ideal of democracy to all of those people who were behind what was then called the Iron Curtain. You see? So it is only appropriate that finally our chief executive has acknowledged jazz along in the same fashion that they have acknowledged ballet and acknowledged classical music. Jazz has now been elevated to its rightful status in the American culture, and it will continue to do that. This is not a campaign gimmick on the part of this president. We have a president who will tell you that his first idols were African Americans because they were musicians, and he wanted to be a saxophone player. So he understands the art form. He understands the mentality behind it. He understands the study and dedication that it takes in order to achieve anything in this art form. And that's a great leap forward for jazz. This is no fluke. This is no temporary thing. We are in now. We are in, and it's simply up to us to now put our best foot forward at every opportunity, because the American eye, the mainstream America, is looking at jazz.
Right. And I totally...
And I feel honored and very, very fortunate to have been the guy who was able to affect this, you know, and get it in there and bring Herbie Hancock and Grover Washington and Ron Carter and Clark Terry and Red Rodney and Wynton Marsalis and all the cats that have been associated with the president now. And you know, we got there, we were on the inauguration show, sandwiched in between Barbara Streisand and Michael Jackson. That was at the desire of the president, because he wanted to make sure that jazz got seen. And it wasn't a watered down thing, it was the real cats, the real names that really mean something to the jazz audience, and that is very, very important. So it's a very, very different time, and we have to take advantage of it. But I sure was proud to have been in the middle of all that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, great. I mean, Barbara Streisand and then Michael Jackson. I mean...
What can you ask? That's not exposure.
You're right.
You know, anybody who don't dig you, they had to watch you that time.
They had to.
They had to watch us,
That is great, you know, because I grew up on jazz. My dad taught me, and he said, Lyle, don't play nothing but jazz on the radio now, because I had to sneak my little rhythm and blues music in there, but... So I got accustomed to liking jazz, you know, as I got older, and appreciating jazz, you know. So I know where you're coming from, and it's an honor that you're talking about this on my show, and I appreciate you doing this much.
Well, I have to talk about it, you see, because I have the public's ear. I was born with a name that people recognized immediately. That too is a privilege. And so along with privileges come obligations and responsibilities, you see, and it's my responsibility, you know, to preach the word, the real thing, the real deal about jazz, how it really is, how it really was, and how it should be, you know. And if I do anything less, you know, then I believe that I will see my dad again on the other side, and I got to face him. He's going to say, all right, man, now what were you doing when I was gone? You know? And I got to be able to say, Dad, I was doing the right thing.
Okay, definitely, you know, I mean, because it's great now, and you being a role model, too. You know, how do you deal with being a role model? Other young jazz musicians looking up to you?
Well, I don't really deal with it. What I do is I do what my dad did, which is I just proceed with the primary directive being do the right thing.
Okay.
That's how I proceed. And as long as I do that, then I don't have to worry so much about being a role model, you know, because when you're concerned about being a role model, you see, you have to be doing things that you questionable about whether or not they're worthy of a role model. You see, but I'm not operating on that premise. I'm operating on the premise that I'm doing the right thing. So I don't have to worry about the role model that I'm setting.
Okay.
You dig?
Yeah, I definitely.
It's very easy.
Definitely. Well, you know what? We're going to take a quick pause right fast, and we'll be right back with more of Monk right after this. So we'll take a quick pause. Welcome back. Welcome back. We're getting some little outside here with two members of Voices of the Soul that play the Iowa City Jazz Fest. I mean, the bass player from Voice of Soul, my man here, Kevin, and Kent. I was joking, I know Ken. and this young man here, Matt plays the drums. And hey, man, now y'all play the Voice of Soul now. Y'all did a great job. Well, what do you think about the whole thing?
I love the whole festival. It's great. Real diverse. Really enjoyed it.
I especially liked the times when Ken didn't play the right note. That was my favorite part.
That was your favorite
part of the whole evening.
Okay, and now you play drums.
Yes, I did.
How long? Well, come on. What's your name?
I love this band.
Well, come on, good. Come on.
Shade of Blue?
Shade of Blue? Okay.
Shade of
We're
Blue?
going to talk to you about this now. Tell me something.
This is the tambourine player.
Exactly. Tambourine.
Okay, now, was you at the IMC Jazz Festival?
I was. It was wonderful.
Really?
Yes.
He especially liked T.S. Monk because he is
No, I don't like the ones
built
before
like a
them.
Greek god, 44 years old, better shape than anyone alive. The guy makes me sick.
The ones before them, what were they called? Tell me.
That was the Methalina.
They were incredible.
Let's get this name right now.
Exactly.
They were great. They were 50-some years old.
Very good.
Dancing and going crazy.
They were great. I wish I could dance like that. That's right. But now tell me something. Y'all in another group, Shade of Blue. How's that?
Shade of Blue.
Yeah, how's that going?
It's going great.
Tambourine is wonderful.
Tambourine is wonderful?
As a matter of fact,
Sparklers, get in here.
It's going
Can I have
on
a
in a couple of
sparkler?
weeks now.
A couple of weeks we should.
Can I play with it just for a minute?
Actually,
a
week from, well, actually, this coming Saturday night, we're playing right here.
Right here.
At the,
right here.
Melton
4th of July.
Metro.
Happy 4th. Merry Independence
This bar
Day.
right behind us. There might even be a poster. Not quite yet.
Not quite yet. Okay, next
But
week.
we are going to be here Saturday the 9th.
Okay. You be playing drums?
I will be playing drums. Ken will be playing bass. He's an excellent bass player.
Merry Independence
Day.
It's going to be tight and funky and in the pocket and I mean, just like T.S. Monk said, we are tight, we are beautiful, we are beautiful.
We are tight and beautiful. Okay.
We are the children.
Oh, great. Now, we are coming back next
Okay, now you interview Ken. I'm going to go inside.
Hey, nice talking to you, man.
Good to meet you, man.
Definitely good to meet you, boy. Hey, and now, so you coming back next week?
It's dark.
Well, yeah, I'm going to definitely come and watch. I don't think
Yeah,
I'm playing.
the ones
I think I'm going to invite people once.
Well, hey, you never know. Y'all did a great job, man. Great job. We've been playing bass for them for a while. You love it.
I enjoy it. Young people, I enjoy music. I like praising God.
That's what it's all about. Hey, man. Kevin from the night. Kevin, everybody knows his name because, man, you're one of the top, brother. Thank you for coming on and giving us a little interview with you, man.
All right.
And good luck in the future about Shade of Blue, man.
All right, thank you.
Okay?
All right,
Hey, and we'll be right back with more interviews after this. Welcome back to more of the Lyle Style Show. This is kind of concludes our second half of the show with our guest, Mr. Monk here. He's just did the Iowa City Jazz Fest. I mean, he tore the crowd up. It was nice. And he's going to sit back a little bit with us and kind of get his reaction about what he thinks about the whole deal. And welcome back. Thanks for coming back on the show, man.
Pleasure.
Now, I mean, oh, man, you played great. I mean, the crowd loved y'all.
I had a good time, you know. When you're in a situation where the environment is right, you know, I mean, if you look at this jazz festival, the whole town is involved. The setting is fabulous. The sound system is great. There's food everywhere. You know, so after that, all you need is some good music for everybody to have a good time. And when you set up these kind of conditions, the musicians want to play. So it was really easy.
I know. I mean, you just
easy work.
Yeah, I know. So I mean, what do you think about playing out here in Iowa City? Do you like it or?
I'm ready to come back. I'm ready to come back to this festival every year. You know, really, this is just one of the. You know, I play all over the world, and this goes. I told Steve Grissom, who helped put this together, that this definitely goes in my top 5 festivals in all of the world.
That is a compliment.
I'm serious because the way the promoters run it, all the people are nice. They all take care of business.
I've been treated like a king. My band has been treated like kings. You know, I can't complain. And, you know, so often what's missing for us as musicians is a comfortable environment in which to perform, a unhostile environment. And this was as friendly an environment as anyone could ask for. And I really, really applaud Iowa City for putting this together.
Oh, I know, and great. And but you know, earlier we was talking earlier with the interview about something about some things you're doing, and another thing I kind of want to touch on a little bit. It's about your education that you're doing with this center.
Oh my goodness! Well, I'm the chairman of the Felonious Monk Institute of Jazz, which is a program and a project designed to create the first conservatory in the world devoted exclusively to jazz music. You know, it's funny, as influential as jazz has been, as international as it has been, it does not have one academic home of its own.
Wow.
The same way classical music does, and Berkeley School of Music is really for pop musicians. You know, so we think that jazz needs its home with names like Duke Ellington and Thelonious Monk and Charlie Parker, which are clearly three of the most dominant names in all of the music in the 20th century. The work that these guys did definitely needs to be put in the proper academic environment. We are determined to do it. We've been trying for 8 years to put it together. We have given out over $500,000 in scholarships and prize money and honoraria.
Wow.
We run the most prestigious instrumental jazz competition in the world, and are responsible for the careers of such young jazz luminaries as Ryan Kaiser, Joshua Redmond, Joey DeFrancesca, Marcus Roberts. All of these cats are winners of the Monk competition. This year, in November, we're at the Kennedy Center again, which is where we're home, and we're doing vocals this year, so this is going to be big, big fun. Our judges are Joe Williams, Little Jimmy Scott, Nancy Wilson, Tony Bennett.
Oh, man.
I mean, it's just a heck of a lineup, And we do educational programs. We've done educational programs in the high schools and junior high schools in New York City, throughout the state of North Carolina. We've done exchange programs overseas in Italy. So we're all over the place. We do not have a building yet. However, next fall we start our first academic program in an institution. We will set up shop at the New England Conservatory of Music, which is the oldest musical institution in this country, which has been a bastion of classical music and now realizes that jazz is the music of the 21st century, and is collaborating with us, and it's a remarkable program. We're going to have 7 of the finest students from all around the world. They're going to be taught by the finest jazz professors in the world, and we're going to spice that up with the likes of Wynton Marsalis, Herbie Hancock, Chick Corea, people like that, older folks like Clark Terry and Al Hurt and Hank Jones. They've all committed to be involved in the program, so we're very, very proud of that, and that will be the first class of the Felonious Monk Institute of Jazz, and we're up and running now. So I'm very, very proud of the project, because the project is not about Thelonious Monk. He's the inspiration. It's about properly teaching the music of Thelonious Monk, along with the music of Tad Dameron, Billy Strayhorn, Duke Ellington, Benny Carter, Miles Davis. The list goes on and on and on. And it's going to be a glorious project, and I believe that it's going to change the face of jazz education throughout the United States and the rest of the world.
Whoo! I mean, that's very impressive. And you know what? I think the United States needs it.
And it is endorsed by our president.
It is.
Absolutely.
So Clinton's involved in it, huh?
Absolutely. You know, so and as a matter of fact, at our competition, the vocal competition, I just received the fax a week ago from the vice president and Tiffer Gore, and they have agreed to become the honorary chairpersons for our competition, and we'll be there on competition night. It's a good time.
That's
a good time.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That is really amazing to have that. I mean,
yes, well, you have to understand that the winners of our previous competitions actually played the housewarming at the vice presidential residence, and that was the first time in the 200-year history of the United States of America that jazz was ever played in the vice presidential residence. So the vice president and of course Tifa Gore is a closet jazz drummer too.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Now.
I tell you, these folks are culturally aware and prepared to move positively for American culture, which jazz is a part. So I'm really delighted in that, and the entire jazz community should be happy, and I think over time the entire community in America will be happy about it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now tell me, is this going to be televised or you know, stuff like that?
No, it will be videotaped, and it will probably be packaged for video.
Okay.
But I mean, it could be televised.
Yeah,
we've had offers. We've had offers, and possibly VET might televise it. We've been talking to them. We're in early talks with it, but it has to be done quickly because it's coming up in November.
Yeah,
you know.
definitely.
But I think it could be. But even if it isn't, what is important is that the entire country over the next year will learn about the winner as they have learned about all of our previous winners, because the record companies all come. The club owners all come. Everyone wants to see who's the new. You know, we're known for gathering the young talent today. So, you know, I'm really looking forward to it.
I know. Now tell me, how do you get these kids from all over the world?
What we do is we solicit from the colleges around the world and around the United States. We solicit from the high schools. We generally have age ranging anywhere from about 14 to about 35. We go into the inner cities, into the high schools there. We go into the community colleges in the inner cities. We go to music schools. And we go by word of mouth from the jazz musicians themselves who say, you know, a young cat who you think can really play, let him apply.
Yeah.
So we really scour the earth for the finest young artists that we can find.
Oh, man. And this is, I mean, I'm glad that you said this right here on my show now, so people will know that it's coming up pretty soon.
Yes, this is coming up in November, and I don't have the exact dates. I should be ashamed, but it's in the middle of November. It will be advertised in all the major jazz publications and on all major jazz radio, so you'll hear about it. You'll know when it happens.
Definitely. And I want to quickly talk a little bit about, like I said earlier, you have some records out or tape out coming out, CDs.
Getting ready to do a new one.
Okay.
Well, the two that are out are on the, Blue Note label.
Okay.
The first one is called Take One. The second one is called Changing of the Guard. We are going to go into the studio in early September and do the third CD, which should be a lot of fun. It doesn't have a title yet, but I can tell you that it's going to be just as hot as the previous two. Actually, a little hotter, because I'm just trying to do better and better.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling better and better about what we're doing, and I've had the great fortune to have had the same band, you know, for almost 3 years now. I've had the great fortune to have the same arranger, and so we've now gotten into sort of a creative groove, which jazz organizations don't get a chance to do because they're so transient, you know. So I'd like to tell the viewers that what you see is what you get. If you come here T.S. Monk Live and you go buy the CD, what you heard that knocked you out is what you're going to get on the CD. And if you go buy the CD and have never heard the T.S. Monk Band, when you come here, what you heard on the CD is what you're going to get.
Okay.
So there's a consistency of product that I'm very, very proud of, and I think that your viewers and listeners will really enjoy that.
Oh, everybody enjoyed it.
And the new CD will probably be out either right before Christmas or in January. But you'll hear about it. We're going to make a lot of noise.
Oh, great. I know you will. And quickly, it's another question I had in my mind I wanted to ask you, because we touched on so many different stuff about with the president and you being involved in education with kids. Now, tell me something. What would you tell young kids out there that may be watching the show, you know, want to maybe get into music business? How would you tell them to how go about getting into it?
Well, you know, my best advice is to surround yourself or try to get in the company of the best musicians or music people that you can. In other words, you know, I mean, that old stage thing, it kind of looks like something that only happens in the movie where the young kid wants to be a star.
Yeah.
So he sneaks in the backstage of the theater every night, and he tells the producer that you got to let me in the show and all that kind of. Be aggressive. Be very aggressive about trying to get as close as possible to the very best people you can. I mean, and for those young kids, you know what I mean. You know that You cannot play ball by playing with sad ball players. If you want to become a good ball player, you got to play with cats that are really good. And it's the same thing when you get involved in music or any other business. If one wants to become a doctor, then you get around doctors. If you want to become a businessman, you get around the finest business minds you can. And when it comes to music, you get around the best managers or producers or musicians or artists that you possibly can get around. And they will guide you because they, when they're really good, see top drawer people want to help young people.
Okay.
You see, if you're around a bunch of jivers that are not really serious, then they're going to waste your time. But if you get around the best people, they will give you a hand.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the way to go.
I definitely agree with that. I mean, it's been, Mr. Muck, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Pleasure. You can
call me Felonious,
and
we will be friends.
Well, hey, man, I'm just honored that you come in on the show, whatnot, and doing something.
You take good care, and I want to thank all your viewers for tolerating me and my hurt lip and my mumbling and everything. But I love you, and I want to say one more time that I really had the time of my life here in Iowa City. Iowa City, I love you.
Oh, and Iowa City loves you, and we appreciate you come on back next year. When you come back to Iowa City and play, then you come back on to the show.
Absolutely, you got it.
Definitely, man. And thanks again, man. And you going to the jam tonight?
Absolutely.
Okay.
On my way.
Well, hey, this kind of concludes a little bit with our interview with Mr. Monk. We're going to see y'all next time. This is Lyle Styles Harris saying we'll be right back in a few. Remarkable evening, day, evening, whatever you want to call it, because we just spent the whole day at the Iowa City Jazz Fest talking to the great legends of jazz. I mean, we talked with T.X. Monk and his band. We talked with Mark Ginsburg, which is one of the creators of Iowa City Jazz Fest, as well as Steve Grismore. Both of them, I want to thank both of them for allowing us to come down here and shoot the show. They've been very helpful, and I think this show has been one successful show. And I'm hopefully next year we're going to be back and give you another look at Iowa City Jazz Fest. But I hope all the viewers get a chance to enjoy the show and enjoy what we shot today and the interviews we had with these legends here. I am honored to be down here. Hey, I want to close out the show, and as always, I want everybody out there to remember to keep styling and profiling. Peace. Till next year, we out of here. See ya.